Nine. Welcome to another installment of our COVID-19 webinar. We've been doing this for the past 3 weeks. Not sure how much information you're getting out of it, but we have gotten some positive feedback, so hopefully you're getting something out of this. We'd like to start off with a kind of quick recap of what we've been going over the last couple of weeks. Ben, if you wouldn't mind touching on the difference between covered and non-covered properties as it pertains to the CARES Act.
Sure. Well, also, I'm Ben Sensenbaugh. If you haven't watched this before, president of the Realty Medics is Jason.
Yeah, I forget that every time.
New business development manager. So just to recap the difference between a covered and non-covered, which is going to be very important here at the end of in about a week and a half. A covered property is a property that has a Freddie Mae, Fannie Mac back loan or a HUD.
Freddie Mac.
Yeah. Conventional mortgage. If it is a covered, evictions are going to be withheld until July 27th at the moment. But if you have a non-conventional mortgage, you own it in cash, or something around those means,
Hard money loan.
May 17th is the date that we can start posting notices and moving forward with possible non-payment of rent evictions and things like that. May 17th is the day we can start posting. We can't get rid of possession until the end of the month of March or May 29th. But if you have a non-covered home, definitely reach out to us and we'll get you to DocuSign a quick document and we'll start charging those late fees. But again, for last month, I think we're still about 18 homes in our entire portfolio that fall under this category. But we just want to be prepared with May.
And a quick recap for March and April leasing. We leased out 36 properties in April. We leased out 36 in March and 31 in April. But May's rent.
May is, the really started the uptrend of our leasing season. So far, we've rented out 23 homes in the first 7 or 8 days. And we have a lot more coming up here in the next we have another, I think 12 already scheduled in the next week to move in. So we should be up into the 50s at least for this month. We're still trending around 20 days or so on market. We have a couple that are longer, but these are HOAs where we can't show the property and do certain situations like that, kind of throwing our numbers off a little bit. But right now the leasing season is as strong as ever.
And what did April's rent collection turn out to be?
We ended up with the 18 homes that did not had some kind of situation of not getting full payment. We're still working with those tenants. They're still being communicated with. Each one's a unique situation. So that's about 1.5% of our 1,100 properties have rented. So May is trending a lot better. We're about 50 homes ahead of what we were in April, which was a surprise. We kind of thought May might be a little bit worse. But it's actually a lot better. So we're 90% collected and we have lots of payment plans and things like that. So we should have more of an update next week, but it's trending well above it did in April.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of Florida's plans for reopening, we started the process this week. It's a slow rollout, kind of a phased reopening. Restaurants, retail, and museums were able to open up to 25% capacity. Beaches have fully reopened, but bars, movie theaters, gyms, fitness centers, and sporting events with fans are not going to be for a ways into the future.
So a lot of cases, it is getting back to normal. I mean, you go outside and stuff, and it does feel, fairly. It's a totally different feel than last week. Is what I'm trying to say. Retail, restaurants are open. It's kind of eerie in some ways. A lot of face masks, a lot of things like that is the main difference, but it is kind of good to see that we're opening back up.
Right. And we did ask for some questions in our email earlier this week, and we got quite a number of them, so let's start tackling these. What is the current demand for rental units?
The demand's strong, kind of covered that real quick. We're leasing at as expected or above average rates, about 19 days across the portfolio. We're going to hit 50 some rented this month. So, and the prices are strong too at the moment.
And one thing we touched on last week is that showings for the month of April were up 33%, which is 33% better than we had expected, where we would normally be without the pandemic. So that's a positive sign right there. Question number 2, are there any recommendations to increase or decrease rent for lease renewal? What is the current trend?
Well, we're not necessarily lowering any kind of rents. We, depending on the situation, we might not increase the rent on a renewal for a good tenant. It's kind of on a situation, on a situational basis. But for the leasing side, we're not trying to set records, but we are just trying to ensure the home is rented quickly. And in most cases, we are not renting anything below. We're trying to, up the rents a little bit, but we're also keeping in mind the current situation.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. What is the percentage of units falling behind in their rent payment, and do you believe June will be any better?
Initially, I thought June was going to be worse. I thought May was going to be worse than April. It's hard to predict, but from what we're seeing, the recovery efforts and all the funding from the government and unemployment's coming through, so we're not quite seeing the dip that I personally expected. So, hopefully we end up with around that 1% delinquency mark by the end of this month. And we'll kind of assess it from there. So,
all right, next question. Looks like we kind of touched on this, but as we enter another month under lockdown, are there any trends with regards to rent payment, more late issues, fewer, or the same number? I think we're going better.
Yeah, we're a little better. Good question.
We got a question that came in from Daniel. Is there a way we can see if our property has had inquiries or showings? Absolutely.
Your leasing coordinator should be able to provide you with that. They should be giving you updates every single week on Fridays, but if you have any questions ever, you can always ask them. We have a couple new products in the IT development side that was supposed to be released soon, but it's probably going to be in Q3 this year, but you're going to have a full view dashboard of viewings, rents, move outs, and things like that. But right now it's best is to reach out to your coordinator.
Okay. All right. What is the feedback you're getting from tenants? Any common questions? I actually spoke with our leasing team this morning when this question came in. And for the most part, the questions remain the same. What's the condition of the home, the application process? We have Spanish-speaking property managers, and yes, we do. Details of the lease, basically, pretty common questions. But some prospective applicants have asked if we're running any COVID programs, and we're not right now. There's really been no need to because we've been doing better than we expected. What sort of payment plan options?
We have the Realty Medic / COVID-19. So we have a lot of resources, and a lot of our tenants have reached out to that. Those sites of getting funding by the government and assistance programs, and we have really worked with them and the people in need.
Mm-hmm. Another question tenants are asking is how are we checking income at this time? Nothing on the leasing side has changed. We haven't dropped our criteria. We're still sticking with the same process we've always had. So we're not, we're not putting.
We want to see recent paycheck stubs as of last, the most recent possible. So it could be end of April or last week. So we're definitely verifying that employment, calling when necessary. We think anything's off. We're also verifying rental history and all the credit, and we have a large criteria. Every single tenant's exactly the same. So that has not been modified at all.
Next question, and I spoke with Tommy, our broker, about this question to get an answer from him, but he says, what is the current condition of the real estate market? He said prices are high because inventory is low. It's tough to find a good opportunity right now. And then tying in with the next question, do you see any changes in the investment property market? Because inventory is low, Tommy said that if you can find a deal, hop all over it because the market is strong and the properties do cash flow. New construction is lower than $200,000 purchase price. So if you are interested, make sure you get with your sales professional. If you have any specific questions, you can always call Tommy at our office here. You have anything to add to the? Okay. How is Florida doing with the coronavirus cases? As of this morning, we have 37,000 positive cases and 1,471 deaths, unfortunately. Basically equates to 176 cases per 100,000 people. That's per Johns Hopkins Hospital. Florida has fewer cases per capita than any other heavily impacted state. In the US, there's 1.26 million cases with 74,000 deaths.
In Orlando, we have 2,000 cases, so it's fairly low.
Where
2 million
does
people, yeah.
where does Florida's unemployment stand? According to CNBC, as of April 24th, they increased in unemployment claims as 3,951%, first in the U.S. But Florida has been the slowest state in the U.S. to process the claims also, and Governor DeSantis addressed this the other day on the news and said that he would put together an investigative team to get the unemployment site working better and processing the claims faster. Unemployment claims in the U.S. top 26 million, according to Politico. And Fox Business says that 3.17 million people filed unemployment claims last week. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics has not updated their stats. I checked this morning, but as of March 31st, we were still sitting at 4.3% unemployment. I imagine it's a little bit higher than that now. Marion County, which is near Ocala and the Villages, some of you own properties up there, sits at 5.5%.
Okay.
Any changes with the stimulus checks that you've heard of?
No, everyone should have received one.
Yeah, the second wave did go out this week, so more people should have those in their possession. Have you started to see missed late payments yet?
Yep, we already covered that.
Yep. And does Disney have any plans to reopen? Not definitive plans. Dr. Pamela Heimel, she's the medical officer for Disney Parks. She created enhanced safety measures for a phased reopening to adhere to physical distancing guidelines. And then Sean Snaith, who's an economist here at UCF down the road, predicts that the reopening will happen before the end of the summer, but doubtful that many people will be flying here from other regions. So we'll see what happens with the employment at Disney if it does reopen.
I do know that vacation rentals, are not allowed to operate right now. So that's a huge blow to that business. So, well, does anyone else have any other questions or concerns or anything else we can cover? If not, keeping you updated every week. Go from there.
All right.
All right.
Looks like we're
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.